Hello everyone, my name is Sean. Hope you're all doing well today. I'm a travel YouTuber and photographer who's traveled to 22 different countries so far in my life. And in today's video, I want to share with you the top 5 apps that I believe you absolutely need going into 2024 for your next trip, vacation, whatever you want to call it, in just 5 minutes. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Alright guys, in this video, I tried to outline each of the apps in an order that you would typically plan a trip. So if you're at a different stage in that trip process or you're already at your destination, feel free to skip ahead in the chapters below. I'll also put timestamps as well. But hopping right into number 1 is none other than Skyscanner, which I have right on my screen here with me. This is going to be your number 1 app for flights around the world. This thing is an absolute machine. It'll search through hundreds of different websites for you, finding the best flight pricing no matter where you're going in the world. It could be one leg, it could be round trip, it could be multiple cities. It is going to scour the internet and save you hundreds of hours of time to find the best flights for your trip and your destinations. Additionally, if you are very eco-friendly conscious, you could search flights that way, looking at a green score provided by Skyscanner on each of your flights. You could hone in on flights specifically based on arrival and departure times, and even set budget limits to fit your budgetary needs for your trip. Now, I do realize that not all trips include flying. You may take another mode of transportation throughout your journey. So with that being said, I do want to give 2 quick honorable mentions to 2 other apps that have been super helpful for me with my trip planning over the years. And one of those, when it comes to trains to start, is Omio up on the screen here. And this one has been an absolute savior, especially for some of those more niche modes of transportation. Last winter, if you guys saw my Tallinn or Estonia to Finland video, I'll just put it up here in the corner somewhere. You know that I crossed the Baltic Sea and I actually used Omio to find that boat. Now that you have booked your flights, train, boat, car, whatever it may be, to get your trip started, you may be wondering where you're going to stay. So number 2 on the list is Airbnb. Kinda. You probably know Airbnb used to be bed and breakfasts, now you just kind of get an apartment for a few days. But as great as that app is, I wanted to share some other top options with you that you may not have heard of and that could make your trip a little bit more interesting. So that we're going to start with is Hostel World. Now this app, if you don't know what a hostel is, just to start, it is basically a grouped accommodation where you will live with maybe 3 to 8 different people in a shared room. It's a great way to meet new people, especially if you're traveling solo around the world. A great way to save money if you're on a tighter budget as well when traveling. Just really awesome app. It'll scour, I've been using that a lot in this video, but it'll scour the internet for various different hostels that exist in the city or cities that you're traveling to. It'll rank them by price and rating. There are thousands of reviews by previous guests at these hostels for you to vet and check them before you book. And it's really a great way to maybe switch up your trip if you're looking for something a bit less conventional than an Airbnb or a hotel. Along with that, the second option that is even more niche, a little bit off the beaten path, but it may be a cool thing for you to try out, is Trusted House Sitters. Now, this site, I don't have too much personal experience myself, I'll admit that, but this is a website where you could actually exchange dog sitting, cat sitting, general pet sitting for a place to stay for the duration of your trip. It's really just community based. People will go on and post that they are leaving to go elsewhere. They need someone to occupy their home for maybe a few days to even a few months in a certain city. And you could go on and basically apply to house sit, pet sit for the people that are leaving their home for that period of time in trade for free housing. Okay, so you got a flight, boat, train, whatever, you have a place to stay. Now what the heck are you gonna do? This is the all-encompassing travel companion. It's like you have a local by your side at all times, and that is TripAdvisor. I mean, this website, as you guys probably know, maybe not, is just the go-to for anything travel related in the city or destination that you may be visiting. It'll give you restaurant recommendations, tourist attractions, different activities that you could sign up for, all highly, highly vetted by people that have done those experiences before themselves. And it is really just the super top site to use, especially if you're a little lost with what to do in your city that you'll be traveling to. So TripAdvisor, definitely number one in my book for travel planning when it comes to activities. Okay, so now you've planned everything initially going into your trip. Now you get to your destination and maybe you need a little bit of help getting around, not sure where to go, stuff like that. This next app, number 4, is CityMapper. I mean, this is like the number one app to go to for live updates on trains, different transportation systems within your city, different pricing for taxis or Ubers in real time, different routes for walking, biking, crawling, obviously not those stupid, but literally gives you any different way you want to get to point A to point B. CityMapper has it for you. And on top of that, you could save your route offline. So if you know you're going to be losing service or you won't have it, maybe you're taking trains, you'll be underground, can't get any connection. You could put point A to point B all in before you go on that train and lose your connection and have your route saved beforehand. And even more helpful, which I've used in the past, is you could share live updates with different friends or family that you may be meeting up with on your trip, so they could track you to a certain meeting point, make sure you're safe, make sure everything's going to plan, or if there is a delay, know how to readjust their expected time to meet you, etc. And those are 2 more practical ways that CityMapper really just comes out on top. All right, so to round it out, you have booked everything, you're in your travel location, you get your route to where you gotta go thanks to CityMapper, and now let's say you get to a restaurant, you're in a foreign country and you don't know how to order your food and they don't speak English and you think you're screwed. So for this to help you with any potential language barriers, really none other than Google Translate is just gonna do you worlds of good. I mean, the fact that you can literally just click record, access your microphone, and have that person speak to you in their native language that you don't understand, and it will annotate that to words so that you could read it in your own language, and then you could speak back in English or whatever your native language is back to them, and it'll translate to their native language for them to make a much more seamless interaction between the 2 of you. If you don't know a certain language, Google Translate is just, I think really the best for this. Of course, it gets a little bit of pushback for how accurate it is. I think I saw a statistic that it's accurate about 82% of the time. And in all honesty, though, the types of conversations that you'll be having on your trip probably won't be too niche and specific for Google Translate to mess up. It's probably basic directions or, once again, ordering food. So Google Translate will hit the nail on the head, as we like to say, with all those types of interactions. Now, another honorable mention, if you're like me and you want to spruce up your language skills or even just learn a few words or phrases before you go on that trip to a foreign country, one of the best ways to do that, I highly recommend this as well, as I think you're always a bit better received by locals. Even if you're butchering the words, it's just always appreciated that you're trying. So one of the best apps to do this is none other than Duolingo. As you may see here, I am trying to learn some Portuguese for the first time. Sneak peek to where I'll be headed in a few days. I can't wait to go. It'll be my first time. Really just learning a few basic phrases there on Duolingo, learning the pronunciation of words, asking those crucial questions that, once again, you could fall back on Google Translate for if you forget something or are completely lost even in the person's reply to your question, which has happened to me a lot of times, especially when learning French early on. But yeah, all right, everyone. So those were my top 5 travel apps that you need going into 2024. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you maybe learned something new, found it helpful for you and your trip coming up. If you did, greatly appreciate if you could like the video. If you really liked it, maybe even subscribe to my channel that I got up here. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.